Is it always good to set goals for the new year, or is it sometimes just you're just setting yourself up for failure essentially because it's an expectation that you're not going to meet, right? Like so, there's I think there's so many. And we talked about this, David, me and you, in this episode of expectations versus reality in adulthood, right?
Yeah.
That was believe episode 15, and it's just this idea that we have so many expectations in this time in our 20s, in our maybe 30s, in our life, and it's like, what do we do to contend with those things? What action are we taking?
Yeah.
There's so many avenues, rabbit holes we can go into. Where do we go?
Right.
And that's, I think, one of the hardest things about adulting.
Well, it's like this. It sounds like it's expectation as freedom versus expectations as a constriction, right? So it's like, let's say that you were looking in this new year and you're like, I'm going to, like for what I said, like I'm going to Bible study every day for at least 15 minutes.
Right.
That's a very specific expectation I'm setting on myself, and it's pretty easy to determine if I'm making it or I'm not. Versus if your goal for the year was like, I'm going to invest and build quality relationships. If you build one quality relationship, that's satisfying your goal for the entire year, hypothetically, right? Versus like for me, it's like mine's very much a practical, accountable day to day. Yours is like, well, it can be satisfied in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think that can be a limiting constraint for yourself? Like, say you set yourself to reading the Bible 15 minutes a day, but then you're like, okay, I'm done, rather than like going above and beyond with that goal, right?
Exactly. So that I think goes into the kind of a good question of like, okay, goal setting. Like, what's the act of goal setting, and like, how do we do it in a way that is something to stretch for instead of be limited by?